James Melendez, James the Tech Guy, to review this beautiful 42mm Apple Watch. Stay tuned. So this is a fantastic device, and I just got this, and I was really excited, and I thought I got to do a review on this, and I love the actual the watch strap itself. It's very modern, cool. So I like the polyurethane material. I thought it's going to be itchy or sweaty or just going to give a rash around my wrist here, and it didn't do that. So I will definitely change out the strap eventually, because I'm worried this will change colors, maybe to an off-white versus a pure white. So in this, some great technology. The digital crown is a way of navigating this device here, and you'll see right here, it's a little thicker than I would have expected. Here is the sensors in the back, and the way you power the watch is back here as well. And so I think this is a really beautiful construction. And when I first put it on, and the instructions, of course, Apple made out of the box, easy to use, easy to get set up, and really found no problems in doing any sort of initializing of this watch here. So I have an iPhone 6 Plus. I also have an iPhone 6, so they're good to go. They're 8.2 and above. And if you're asking the question, I'll answer that right now, which is I only use this particular phone with this watch. I don't want to pair this other phone together. It's too complicated. I don't know if it could even be done, so I'm not going to even worry about it. For the purposes of this review, one watch and one iPhone. And I'm fascinated by this because a lot of people were saying to me, I'm not going to get the new Apple Watch. I'm going to let somebody else work out the kinks. I want the watch from the very beginning. I want to be a first mover. I don't really care. It's not going to be the most up-to-date, but I really think there's been a lot of effort put into this device here. And while it's not working perfectly, it's working well enough to hopefully make my life a little bit easier. I'm not expecting a revolution in my life, but I will expect that this will get better over time. I also expect that I really get some use out of some upgraded applications, some different ways of using it. So there are some disappointments from the very get-go. Digital crown right here. It's a way of navigating it. It's good. It's novel. It's interesting. Some surprises that I learned along the way are really novel and interesting, but not earth-shattering. Taptic engine is good because I really felt some pulsing from the watch itself, which I thought was really cool. The sounds, I really want to have the sounds, believe it or not, for my iPhone to be the sounds here. And so I'm not sure that's ever going to be customizable. I hope it is. You have 3 hours of talk time, 6.5 hours of audio playback time, 72 hours of reserve power. Now, on this particular watch here, I got the 42mm versus the 38. And do the 4 extra millimeters help? I'm not really sure, but I think it helps in terms of, say, size. While I like this phone, the 6, I think this is much more of my device that I travel with, I read from. And this is replacing this antique right here, the iPad mini. iPad mini is really good for store fronts who, they want to sell you some coffee. You're going to use this as a cash register. And I've never really been happy with the touch capability so far on the watch. So far, so good. And on the Apple iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, much better. So this thing, when it breaks, I'm never going to buy another one. I don't need to. It's heavy. It doesn't help. And if I'm traveling to Europe, I have these 2 devices with enough power to get me through any long journey. So this device here will go away. Now, this will never, in my opinion, replace it. To have this in order to make a phone call from here. And so far, the quality seems to be decent enough. What I find to be really, some janky things are like making a photograph. So this will serve as somewhat of kind of a remote control for this here. This is your camera taking device. There's no camera capabilities on the phone itself. To give a quick tour of the Apple Watch is really important to get a sense of what it can do or what it is doing. So you click here on the digital crown and you get some of these, the applications here. And some of them are really good and some of them are just really, pretty mediocre. I would say that for me, the disappointing one here is the camera. And I'm not really sure the focus of the camera. Video capture in progress. That means that it's actually trying to get this from my iPhone 6 Plus. Now, it's very awkward, and I'll try to tape that later on a different camera. So, for example, you're trying to film this, you're actually filming from your camera, and you're like, well, how do I juxtapose the camera to hit this all at the same time? It's very awkward, so I actually don't really like that function at all. You see other functions here that is pretty interesting and intriguing. You can see all the contacts I have here, and I can tell you it is not easy to scroll through, even with this handy dandy guy here. I do like the focus of going from the contacts of phone to specific people. Here you're going to see the watch itself, which is obviously very important to have as a central feature of your watch, right? And then you can see things like adding music here. The music I was very disappointed with because it actually was coming out into my iPhone, which is, well, okay, that's great. I'm not sure that's going to help me out a lot. So here's another way of just quickly getting information, so I can look at people, say on Instagram, and what they said to me, and to quickly get information there. What I'm really disappointed with is that there's not an Instagram or Twitter or YouTube function where I can just hit an application here and it goes there. Overall, I think it's a really beautiful device. It comes through. I had to brighten this up several times. The other point is that sometimes the watch itself, when you want it to turn on, it's on your wrist. It actually doesn't stay on or go on immediately. So that kind of defeats the purpose of this watch in some ways. And in other ways, guess what? I'm sure that'll be fixed. And I'm sure that's not a particular deal breaker on this watch here. It's a beautiful watch so far. And I really think I'm going to retire my old analog watch because I think I need a little more of the characteristics from this. So I do find the operating system is not as responsive as I'd like it to be. I was really hoping to, just launch from here and utilize Twitter and initialize a tweet. You can respond to them, but it'd be nice to just organically start from here versus starting from here. So that was some disappointments along the way. I will tell you that my initial review is a 9.2 out of a 10.0 scale, 10 being the absolute best, which I've never given, by the way, to any product whatsoever. But so far, it's a good device. It's not something that's going to be a game changer, a life changer. It's good, not great. Am I in love with it? Well, we'll see. Am I going to wear it? Of course. I spent the money on it. I'm going to really test drive it and see how it goes. So I'm an optimist. Apple tends to do better things over time. So for me, it's really having that functionality and ability to grow with the device. Do me a favor, give a like to this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Also, list your questions and comments down below. Thank you so much for watching me today. Stay tuned for more. Salud.